So you just got a drum set for you or your child, and now it's sitting in the middle of the floor and you don't know how to set it up. So this video is to show you how to set up your drums, not necessarily how to play them or anything, but just to get them set up in your room and get you going. The first thing we're going to do is bring in the bass drum. Put the bass drum in the middle of the floor, and the next thing you're going to do is put the legs on. They're either going to go through a little hole that tightens up, or they're going to flip down and you're going to tighten up the screw. After the bass drum, you're going to put the bass drum foot pedal on. To do this, you hook it over the hoop, and then you tighten up the screw that holds down the mechanism that goes over the hoop. Don't go too tight because you'll break the wood hoop. But once you do get it on there, make sure the drum is back square, right where you want it. The next thing you're going to do is get out your drum throne. Most of these stands open the same way, all the hardware. So you're going to want to open it up all the way, flip it over, and then you're going to put the seat on top and make sure you get that wing nut tight that holds the seat down. Also, now is a good time to get the seat height correct. And now you're going to put it about where you're going to sit. Next, you're going to get the hi-hat stand out. The legs open up about the same way. Make sure the middle of the hi-hat stand isn't too high or too low. It's going to be just about equal to the floor as the feet. So you're going to get this set up, you're going to sit down, and you're going to put your legs out just like you're sitting comfortably with your legs out in front of you a little bit. Leave those there, and then you're going to get the snare drum stand out. That also opens up the same way. Has a height adjustment that goes up and down. Put that right in the middle. You can also adjust the basket that the snare drum goes on. And snare drum stands are a little bit different depending on what you have. Next, you're going to put the snare drum on the snare drum stand. I like to put the throw off, which is what turns the snares off and on, pointed at you. Put the basket rubber feet around the bottom of the rims. Next, you're going to put your floor tom legs on. I like to turn my floor tom over and then put the legs on, maybe when it's sitting on the throne, easier that way. When you put the legs on, make sure they flange outwards, not inwards, towards the middle of the drum, but outwards, away from the drum. Floor tom legs have 3 legs, and you can adjust them differently depending on what angle you want. So after you get the legs on, put it on the floor about where you want it. Make sure there's enough room, right foot to play the bass drum. And now you can do fine adjustments. Next, you put on the mount for the rack tom. The mount goes into the bass drum, and then next you put on the tom. There's also almost infinite adjustments for this as well, but once you get it, you can set it and forget it. Next, you put on the hi-hats. So when you're putting on the hi-hat, take the clutch off the hi-hat stand. Just do the screw on the bottom that comes off first. After that, you take off one of the felts. There should be 2 felts on the hi-hat clutch. You put the cymbal through kind of upside down at this point. Put the felt back on. And then put the screw back on. The screws on the other end of the hi-hat clutch are for adjustments. So the one on the bottom is going to go all the way tight. Put the bottom hi-hat through the hi-hat stand. Put the top through the hole. You can put your finger through there to give the right clearance before you tighten up the clutch. next you're going to start getting out the cymbal stands. They adjust the same way as a snare drum stand on the bottom for the feet, and then you're just going to raise it to whatever height you want. To put the cymbal on, it's kind of like the hi-hat clutch. You take the wing nut off the top, you take one of the felts off. There should be a sleeve on there. If there's no sleeve, you need to get one, because if you don't, it'll keyhole your cymbals. You put everything back on. The cymbal goes between the two felts. You tighten it down so you can still move the cymbal. If the cymbal doesn't move, it's too tight. You got to back it off a little bit. And now we'll do the right cymbal. So this stand is a boom stand. You can actually give a little angle to it, and it has all the adjustments right there. This way you can put the cymbal over the top of the bass drum a little bit, and the stand will fit next to the bass drum, and you can still have clearance for everything. And then you put the right cymbal on the same way you put the crash cymbal on, in between the two felts, followed by the wing nut. And again, you don't want to get it too tight. Now you can make even more adjustments. So now you're going to want to sit down and start adjusting everything you set up. You might need to bring things closer or move things away. If you can reach everything just with your hand outreach, then you should be able to reach it when you're playing with the stick. And that's how you set up a drum set. So to go out and buy your drum set, set it up.